Now at 10, a utility company works to replace lead water pipes across Missouri. Plus, a business in southeast Kansas uses grant money to help put local farm food on the dinner table. And crews are changing the signage on the former Via Christi Hospital in Pittsburgh, now with a new name.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Missouri American Water is working to replace lead pipes across the state, including in Joplin homes. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. This comes as the EPA requires all U.S. water companies to inventory their local service lines. The company will replace the entire service line, including customer-owned portions, free of charge if it contains lead or galvanized steel. Some Joplin residents received a letter asking them to help determine the material of their home's pipes. Missouri American Water has already been replacing water lines across Joplin and more than 10,000 across the state. By October, staff hope to have an inventory of homes that still need new pipes.
So this is really an opportunity for me to educate people. No, this is not a scam. We did send letters out to customers recently. This is official. It's part of the lead and copper rule, and we're just needing them to help us identify their service line.
Residents who believe they may have lead pipes are encouraged to reach out to Missouri American Water through their website. There you can self-report your pipes or ask for a pipe inspection to see if those pipes contain lead. Let's check in with meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney for a first look at the weather.
Well, temperatures are starting to drop down, about 65 right now out in Joplin, 64 in Pittsburgh, still 70 out in Yates Center, Chanute, Iola, Veneta, Grove, a little bit warmer out there, but temperatures are going to continue to drop for the overnight hours. Clouds are starting to clear out, so we're going to have a mostly clear night tonight and mostly clear tomorrow as well. Overnight lows dropping down to about 59, maybe a little bit lower in some areas, maybe a little higher in some other areas. We also have some rain in the forecast moving in later on this week, not dropping a ton of accumulation, but still going to drop our temperatures even further. But I'll have more details coming up.
See you soon. The Miami, Oklahoma City Council tonight discussed the future of Police Chief Thomas Hightower Anderson. Officials discussed the chief's position during executive closed session. Since it was not open to the public, we don't know the details. We reached out to the city's communications manager for comment, but we have not yet heard back. In July, the chief was placed on paid administrative leave following allegations of misconduct. The city has not provided details about the allegations, simply saying they are personnel matters. However, they have hired an independent investigator to look into that matter. The Kitchen Collective and Collaborative in Fort Scott plans to buy equipment for their commercial kitchen thanks to a grant. Farmers will be able to rent their licensed commercial kitchen to create products out of their own produce. The idea is to bring the community more healthy, locally grown food options. Co-owner Rachel French says Bourbon County has a scarcity of locally grown foods, which makes this kitchen especially beneficial.
We really are excited to bring about to our community here is for the elderly population. So for instance, a lot of people are eating frozen foods that come from the grocery store, and it's not always the best nutritional value.
This grant was given through the Resilient Food Systems Infrastructure Program to strengthen food supply chains in Kansas. KDOT wants to remind drivers about some safety tips when sharing the road with semi-trucks. When passing, make sure you pass with care, as these vehicles need more space to maneuver, and try to avoid semis' blind spot as they are bigger as well. MoDOT wants to warn some drivers in Joplin about some traffic delays this coming week. Tomorrow and Thursday, Main Street and 34th can expect some delays due to lane reductions. Drivers should plan for alternative routes between the hours of 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. on both evenings, while crews install a section of storm pipe. The Missouri State Highway Patrol today released its Labor Day holiday traffic statistics. According to the preliminary report, there were a total of 233 crashes, 115 injuries, 7 fatalities, 108 DWI arrests, and 5 drug arrests. Weekend boating numbers show 3 crashes, 8 injuries, 2 fatalities, 8 BWIs, 0 drug arrests, and 1 drowning. These numbers reflect statistics taken across Missouri during the Labor Day weekend. The months-long process of transferring ownership of the former Via Christi Hospital in Pittsburgh to Mercy is finally complete. Crews are now changing signage at the hospital. Mercy Hospital Pittsburgh is the 3rd Mercy Hospital in Kansas, joining Mercy Hospital Columbus and Mercy Specialty Hospital Southeast Kansas in Galena. The transaction was officially finalized on September 1st. New and old Mercy co-workers, community leaders, and the public are invited out to a ribbon-cutting ceremony on September 11th to officially open that new facility. The Community Health Center of Southeast Kansas wants you to know walk-in mammography screenings are now available. The screenings are available at its Fort Scott and Pittsburgh South locations. The clinics will accept walk-ins Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. The clinic offers other financial assistance programs, ensuring every woman who needs a mammogram screening will receive one, regardless of income or insurance status. Krispy Kreme is going pink starting today. The chain is marking Barbie's 65th birthday with 4 new donuts served in a limited edition pink box. On Saturday, all customers wearing pink can also get a free glazed donut at participating locations. Schools and businesses in Southwest Missouri team up to encourage and increase school attendance. That's coming up. And aspiring artists in Carthage now have an after-school art class.
The interview set for KOA.
The U.S. Justice Department unveiled sweeping criminal charges against 6 senior leaders of Hamas in the deaths of dozens of Americans in the October 7th terror attack on Israel. Skylar Henry has the latest.
The criminal charges against Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar and 5 others are in connection with the October 7th terror attack that killed close to 1,200 people, including more than 40 Americans.
Hamas terrorists murdered civilians who tried to flee and those who sought refuge in bomb shelters. They murdered entire families.
The Justice Department says Sinwar and other senior Hamas figures financed, directed, and oversaw a campaign to murder U.S. citizens and endanger U.S. national security. The charges were kept under seal for months to position the U.S. to take Sinwar and others into custody.
Those defendants, armed with weapons, political support, and funding from the government of Iran and support from Hezbollah, have led Hamas's efforts to destroy the state of Israel and murder civilians in support of that aim.
The move by the U.S. comes days after more hostages were killed, including Israeli-American Hirsch Goldberg Poland, adding new, intense pressure to ceasefire talks.
We became absolutely certain that you were coming home to us alive, but it was not to be.
The White House says President Biden remains committed to getting Israel and Hamas to agree on a deal to end the nearly 11-month-old war.
He and his team, for sure, will keep working around the clock to get this hostage deal done.
In Israel, thousands of protesters filled the streets for a third night, demanding that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu do more to bring home about 100 captives who remain in Gaza. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
After months of failed ceasefire talks, the Biden administration says it's developing a new hostage deal proposal that may be a take-it-or-leave-it offer to both Hamas and Netanyahu. Authorities in St. Louis are investigating a shooting yesterday that claimed the life of a child. Police say a 4-year-old was found shot inside a home where there were several other children under the age of 10. There were no adults around at the time, and the 911 call came from one of the children. The victim was taken to a local hospital but later died. A weapon was found at the scene.
It's heartbreaking. You know, as a police officer, you know that you are going to see a lot of things in your time, and there are things that you will see that you will never unsee. And this is going to be one of those nights. This is going to be in the minds of our officers for a while.
St. Louis police say this is the 6th child under 17 who has died in a shooting this year. Teens with depressive symptoms are twice as likely to vape compared to other teens. A study out of Australia surveyed more than 5,000 students. About 8% reported having used e-cigarettes before. Those with poor mental health, moderate or high stress, and low well-being were the students most likely to have vaped at some point. Several Southwest Missouri school districts have teamed up to encourage a community-wide focus on strong student attendance for the upcoming year. The campaign, which kicks off this month, aims to highlight the benefits of attending school every day. In 2018-19, just over 12% of Missouri students were chronically absent. That number almost doubled during the 2022-23 school year. To learn more about the campaign, just go to KOAMnewsnow.com. Arts Central Carthage kicks off a new after-school program for aspiring artists. The Art After School program provides a once-a-week opportunity for young artists to develop diverse artistic interests, hone existing skills, and be part of a team, all while exploring various art forms. One educator says the class can also provide a great form of therapy.
Well, we just don't do after school for kids. I mean, we do homeschool. We do, we have a homeschool elementary in the morning, a homeschool junior high, high school in the afternoons. And then we also we're getting ready to start our free art. So anybody retired or somebody who just self-employed needs a break from their house for a moment, want to come here and do a little bit of art. It's kind of bring your own supplies, and there'll be an instructor here to guide.
That class will be offered every Tuesday after school at a cost of $10 per student. Parents are encouraged to register their kids because space is limited. A little bit later, the Lady Bulldogs hit the diamond for their home opener. John Dale says that and more coming up in sports.
And temperatures warm up just a bit in the next couple days. Talk about that right after the break. It's been a nice couple of days. Unfortunately, we start to see a slight warm up in the next couple of days. Taking a look outside Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. That warm up does not start tonight. It's going to be really gorgeous overnight hours. Clearing out, so we had a few clouds over our area, mostly overcast skies due to some high level clouds caused by a few rain showers in Texas and southern Oklahoma, but you can see it's starting to clear out. We're going to have some partly cloudy skies overnight and early into tomorrow, but it does clear out, so we're going to have a mostly sunny day towards the afternoon hours, and our high about 87. So today we got up to 82, 83, but tomorrow definitely starting to warm up. We've got a southeasterly breeze as well, bringing in that warmer air. Even though it's warmer air, humidity stays pretty low for the next couple of days. 22% humidity out in Stockton and Nevada, 37% in Iola and Yates Center, 40% in Independence, so a little bit more humid out some of those western counties. 31% out in Webb City, so anytime it's less than 40%, it's going to feel much better. Not to mention temperatures only getting into the upper 80s definitely feels quite good. 27% in Stockton on Thursday, and Nevada as well, getting a little bit more humid on Thursday, but temperatures as they drive up, we're really not going to see high humidity and high temperatures paired together, so we don't see a lot of those major moderate risks anymore as we get further into the fall season, but we are still seeing that minor risk starting to creep back in Wednesday, Thursday, and then going away for Friday, because we do have some storms in the forecast along a cold front, which is going to drop temperatures again as we move into the weekend. So right now we've got that high pressure system, and as I've mentioned many times before, a high pressure system brings in that warmer air. Now we usually get sunny skies with a high pressure, but does bring in that warmer air, a little bit more humid as well. Though we're not seeing the humidity, we are seeing that warmer temperatures. As the high pressure moves off to the east, low pressure sets up north in Canada, draping a cold front down to the Midwest. Now it's not a strong cold front, so we're not seeing a massive drop in temperatures. We're also not seeing a lot of forcing, and that forcing is what drives the thunderstorms up, causing us to have some severe storms. We don't have that because temperatures are not dropping drastically, so we don't have really warm air, moist air ahead of the cold front, so we don't see any massive threat for storms. But we do have a couple of rain chances as the cold front sets up just outside of our area Thursday. Couple of showers start to push in from the south, and then the cold front moves in Thursday night into Friday morning. You can see a few isolated showers starting to pop up, but really not seeing a ton of accumulation over the next couple days. But once we get a little bit closer, we might see how much it organizes. But you can see temperatures about 89 on Thursday, dropping down by the weekend, 80 as a high on Saturday, maybe even a little bit cooler than that. And our overnight lows only in the low 50s. We do warm up next week, but I am going to focus on this weekend as long as I can.
Yeah, why not? Those overnight lows seem refreshing.
I'm super excited for
It'll
them.
be chilly. Thanks, Lindsay. The Ozarks is known for a lot of great bodies of water, of course. People come from all over to take a boat out on Lake of the Ozarks, Table Rock Lake, many others. And of course, with that comes the need for safety. Adam Woodbury has more from Branson.
The summer season coming to a close, but for boaters on Lake Taneycomo, there's virtually no end to the fishing season.
A lot of our trout tournaments are in January, February. We don't really have an off season here.
Which also means there's no off season for boat safety. And a big one, of course, life jackets.
You know, you don't think you need a life jacket until you need one. So it's something you want to take seriously and make sure you're being as safe as possible on the water.
Per Missouri law, everyone on board should have a life jacket on hand. Children under 7 are to wear them at all times, unless they're in a boat's cabin.
Outside of that, it's up to whoever's driving the boat. But we definitely recommend wearing one, especially in a river with current.
Derek Sparks also recommends knowing your surroundings. Watch out for other boats in the water. It's easy for others to be in your blind spots. And if you're boating on a river, Sparks says the terrain can change.
A river's a living thing. You have to be aware of any new obstacles, no matter how many times you've been on that particular body of water.
And it doesn't take much for a day of fun in the water to take a drastic turn.
Emergencies don't happen when you expect them.
Sparks also says Lake Taneycomo can feel more like a river than a lake. It's down below the Table Rock Dam, and certain times a day, a current will come through that area, which he says can change the feel of the water if you're not expecting it. Still ahead, a couple of Gorilla football players receive weekly awards from the MIAA. And McDonald County softball tries to spoil Carl Junction's home opener. John Dales has those stories and more up next.
High school softball is alive and well in southwest Missouri. Carl Junction began its 2024 season with 3 wins and a loss in the Hound Dog Classic in Aurora over the weekend. Today, the Lady Bulldogs play their first home game of the year. Carl Junction with its 2024 home opener against McDonald County. CJ starting pitcher Kylie Spencer starts very strong. She gets a swinging strikeout in the first inning. Then in the second, catches a batter looking, but in that inning, the Mustangs break through. Bases loaded, and Peyton Allenbaugh hits one in the gap in right center. That'll drop down, it'll roll to the wall. It's a 2-run double. Mack County takes a 2-0 lead. Next batter, Kirsten Hopkins. She hits a grounder over towards first. Easy out there, but Vanessa Zamora hustles in from third. That's an RBI ground out. Mustang starting pitcher Dakota O'Brien was excellent in the circle. She gets a swinging strikeout in the bottom of the second. She goes the distance, pitches 7 scoreless innings, and McDonald County wins it. Final score, 7-0. Busy night for high school softball across Missouri. Switching gears to the COC, the defending conference champion Neosho Wildcats look just as strong as last year. After scoring 8 runs in the first, the Wildcats keep Waynesville scoreless and go on to win it by run rule. Final score 10-0 after 5 innings. Elsewhere in the conference, a couple more wins for our local teams. Joplin dominates Lebanon. Eagles take that one 13-3 after just 6 innings. Webb City wins a nail-biter. Cardinals enter the bottom of the 6th, down 1-0 to Nixa, but a 2-run homer off the bat of Lily Hall puts them in front for the first time all game. They hang on to win in the 7th. Final score 2-1. Pittsburgh State football impressed the entire country with its 19-3 win over third-ranked Ferris State on Saturday. The Gorillas are the first Division II team other than Grand Valley State to beat the Bulldogs since 2019. And a few Gorillas get some well-deserved recognition after their performance on Saturday. Starting with Austin Schmidt, the PSU place kicker, converted on 4 field goals in the win over the Bulldogs. That ties the school record. He's named the MIAA Specialist of the Week as well as the Special Teams National Player of the Week by D2Football.com. Schmidt, not the only gorilla to receive recognition from the MIAA. Linebacker Thomas Cook is named Co-Defensive Player of the Week. This comes after he accumulated 5 tackles, 1 sack, a forced fumble, along with a fumble recovery in that win over Ferris State, and he helped limit the Bulldogs to 171 total yards of offense. That's it for sports. We're back with more news after this.
Weather looking pretty good at the moment and really in the next few days anyway.
We do have a slight warm-up, but slight warm-up isn't what I would even call this. We're only getting up to the upper 80s before a cold front moves through. Pretty weak cold front, dropping those temperatures for the weekend back down to low 80s and overnight lows in the low 50s.
Yeah, that's chilly overnight.
I'm so excited though. It's going to feel like fall.
It's going to help with those cooling bills. The air conditioners will shut off for a while.
You're telling me.
Thanks. Those of you at home really have no idea what a technical director might be during a newscast. Let's take a live picture of our control room. Courtney, turn around and wave. Hi, Courtney. Courtney Head there is our technical director. She is an outstanding one. She punches the buttons when she's not waving. She keeps things moving. She gets the audio on and the pictures on correctly. And unfortunately for us anyway, this is her last evening with us. She goes on to pursue another opportunity. We're going to miss her, but we wish her well. We know she's going to do well. One more wave. Courtney, as we say goodnight. Thanks for watching, everybody. Let's make it a great tomorrow.